Hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl in real estate, Charity Jones. And it's summertime, the kids are out of school, and everybody's thinking it's time to buy a house. Let's get out there and let's start looking. Well, what we do at Next Home Real Estate Rockstars is we like to walk you through a buyer's presentation. And I know that sounds super serious, but it's actually super serious information that you need when you start looking for a house. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk you through our checklist. Like, these are the things that I want you guys to think about before you ever even start hunting. I know it's tempting. You're on Zillow and you're on Trulia and you're looking at all these houses, and then it's kind of like you get into this spiral, right? So let's just talk about what are the most important things when you're buying a house. First of all, what's your motivation? What do you want to buy right now? What does that look like for you? What's going on in your life that you're like, okay, now's the time. Now's when we're really going to buy a house. The second thing I want you to think about is your timing. Do you have kids? When do they need to be back in school? Do you have a summer vacation planned? Do you have some free time that now's a perfect time to move? Are you locked into a lease? Are you month to month? Do you need to sell your house to buy your new house? These are all things that you want to think about and kind of write it down. The third thing I always talk about is pricing. Obviously, that's huge, right? Like, I want to live in a $2 million house. Not going to happen. But hey, you never know, right? So I'm on Trulia, I'm looking at the $2 million houses. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Look at your budget, right? And then I want you to think about a little thing called pre-approval. It sounds really scary, right? But that's what your girl in real estate is here for. You want to get your pre-approval. You want to know what you can realistically purchase and live with. I always tell everybody, the last thing I want you to do is buy so much house that you can't enjoy it. You know, if your monthly payment on your house is so crazy that you can't go out to eat and enjoy your life every once in a while, what's the point? Find something that's a monthly payment that you can live with. And who helps you find that out? Me. And your mortgage professional. Who's your mortgage professional? I got numbers for you, baby. I got numbers all day. All right? Call me and let's talk about that, because pricing is a huge factor. You don't want to go into a house and fall in love with it and find out that it's like right above your price range, or you don't want to be looking at things and then realize, wait a minute, I can afford a lot more than this. So let's start right where we should be. And that's what you do when your realtor and your mortgage lender who gave you pre-approval all come together. Next, decision making. There's always, I like to call, one big kahuna in the group. Who's the big decision maker, right? Somebody's going to have the strongest opinions in your family. Call a family meeting and figure out who that person is. Heck, maybe it's your mother-in-law. Maybe it's somebody that's not even going to live in the house with you, right? But she's giving you some money for the new place, so you got to include her. Make a priority list of the decision makers. Who's really going to be involved in this process? Because these are things that, if you figure it out from the get-go, are going to solve you a lot of drama later on. The next thing is location. Where do you want to live? You probably already know this, right? But scout it out. Drive around. And when you find that neighborhood you really like, drive around at night. I always tell my clients, sometimes things look a lot different in the night. Sometimes they don't. You never know until you drive around there. So that's super, super important to do. I always say pick your top 3 areas that you really want to live in. And that could be anything from a track, if you're out here in Santa Clarita, to a certain section of streets, from Moore Park to Ventura, say, in Encino. Wherever you want to be, that's where we want to start our search and keep it really super focused. The next is, what type of house do you want? Do you want a condo? Do you want a townhouse? Do you want a single family house? Where do you really see yourself? What's going to make the most sense for you, your partner, your family, whoever's involved in this process? Where do you want to be? There's big differences between all 3 of those, as far as payments, as far as taxes, as far as HOAs. These are all things that factor in, and that's what we do at Next Home, is kind of help you figure that out. So you're not just wasting time and energy looking at these places, and then you get so far in the process and you're like, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even know that. The next is the size of your home. How big does it need to be? This is something that you're probably already like, Charity, I know this, I'm not an idiot. But, you know, talk about it. I've seen people think they want 2 bedrooms, and in the end, they really want 3. Sometimes you think you want 4 bedrooms, and then you walk through a place and you're like, you know what, 3 is actually pretty good. So just talk about it with whoever's involved in the decision-making process and kind of come to terms. Same thing with square footage. How big does the place have to be? These are things you probably already know. Just write them down and go over them in that big family meeting that we were all talking about having. Also, if you're going to have pizza at the family meeting, I would appreciate it if you would invite me. Next thing is floor plan. All right, I know what you're gonna say. We want an open floor plan. Everybody wants an open floor plan. But there's actually further things to think about than open floor plan. You know, how many bathrooms in the main floor is a must? Do you have to have a bedroom on the main floor? Do you even want 2 floors? Does it need to be a ranch style? Think about that. Think about a certain style that you want architecturally, if there's something that really appeals to you. Do you like contemporary houses? Do you like Tudor style houses? If you don't know what any of that is, get on Pinterest and just type things in, right? And you'll start to see all these examples of different house styles. And then pick what you really, really enjoy. And then let that be like, yeah, I really like a colonial style house. I really like a craftsman house. Whatever it is that appeals to you, I want to help you find that place. The next thing you want to talk about is amenities. Amenities in your community and amenities in your neighborhood. How close do you want to be to everything? Do you want to be super close to Target, for example? I really need to be super close to Starbucks. But how far do you want to be away from the freeway? Do you really need freeway accessibility? Do you want to be super far from the freeway so you never hear anything? Those are things you want to think about when you start talking about the home buying purchase, because you're thinking about commute times. You're thinking about, you know, how quick can I get on the 405 if I've got to get over to LA? And can I get access on Beverly Glen so I can take the back way? All super important things that we want you to think about and we want you to have a concept of before you even start the process. It just helps streamline the whole entire thing. Another thing you want to think about is pool. No pool. What's included in your HOA? What's not included in your HOA? If you're in a townhouse or a condo, does it cover earthquake insurance? These are all things that I'll help you find out. We're going to go through this process together, but those are things that you want to like have your little checklist and think about with your family or with your partner or with yourself before the process gets underway and gets going. And then I want you to think about school district. For some of you, that's paramount, right? Because you want your kids to go to a great school. For some of us, it's not that big of a deal. But here's why I want you to actually care about school, even if you don't have kids, is because it helps the resale value of your house if you're in a good school district. Because there's a lot of couples that I work with, and they're buying, and they don't have kids, and they're not going to have kids. And I'm like, this is a great school district. And they're like, who cares? Charity, we don't care. And I'm like, you know why I want you to care? Because one day you're going to want to sell this, and you're going to want to go to something bigger. You're going to want to go to something smaller. And that's when we're really going to use the power of school district to sell to somebody who does have kids and cares about the school district. Really, all this is determining your needs. So this is what I give people as kind of like an intro to our buyer's consultation. So think about that. Call me. I'm always available for you. Charity Jones at Next Home Real Estate Rockstars. My cell number is 818-515-2464. Your girl in real estate never stops working, and she never stops working for you. So give me a call when you get a chance. Let's go over your checklist and let's get you home. Have a great day.